Hello, good morning students. Please subscribe the channel, drop a like, share and comment. This is SSC previous year dictation exercise number 19 on the speed of 100 words per minute. Start. Honorable Chairman, Sir, I thank you for giving me the opportunity. The Honorable Railway Minister is seeking the approval of this House for a sum of rupees 60,000 crore through the appropriation bill. Sir, the financial health of the railways is not very sound. The Honorable Minister herself, in her budget speech, had confessed that she was facing resource constraint. It is true that the railways are facing financial constraints. This is because nobody knows whether the railways are a commercial organization or whether it is a government department. For some reasons, it considers itself as a government department. For certain other reasons, it considers itself as a commercial organization. They are neither here nor there. With the result, the entire financial structure of the railways is a confused structure. The railways is still part of the Consolidated Fund of India for its receipts and expenditure. It also produces a balance sheet. No government department produces balance sheet while the railways produce it. It draws money from the Consolidated Fund of India. Nobody knows how it should function, what should be the capital structure, and how it should raise the resources. It publishes the balance sheet, but the balance sheet does not reveal anything. Anybody can read a balance sheet, but as we read the balance sheet of any commercial organization, there are certain disclosure norms so that the public at large would understand that the disclosures are properly done. But there is nothing which the balance sheet of the railways shows. It is a non-corporate balance sheet. There are no guidelines in it as per the accepted practice of a commercial organization. The capital and revenue side are not segregated. The loans are not segregated. The depreciation methodology is not proper. It is done on ad hoc basis. The list of assets is not disclosed. When the entire structure of accounting itself is wrong, how can the Parliament approve this appropriation sum? What is it that you are offering to Parliament to understand and then to sanction and approve the appropriation? We only ask some railway lines or certain facilities, but there is no discussion as to how the resources are to be mobilized, from where they should come, and how we should utilize the scarce resources for the overall development of the railways. Sir, it is a commercial organization but with a substantial social burden on it. That social burden should be segregated and that has to be funded through budgetary support. You cannot put the entire social obligation, which is part of the government's obligation, on a commercial organization. The railways should function as a commercial organization. It should raise its resources as any other commercial organization. If it is undertaking any social obligation to that extent, there should be budgetary support to the railways. The health of the railways is not really good. In 1998-99, when we compare the present year's figures with that of the previous year, the net profit of the railways has gone down drastically. We should know what we are losing. It is an expanding organization. Nobody is able to understand how the railways are functioning. In her budget speech, the Honorable Minister talks about transparency and accountability. Believe me, sir, with this account there cannot be any transparency and accountability. So, what is required is a thorough, in depth analysis of the account of the railways. What is happening is that the railways are not accountable with regard to the cost escalation. Most of my colleagues were saying that when a project of high value is taken up, the railways are able to provide funds to the extent of 2 or 3%. Then that project is taken up and only the amount that is allocated is spent. Then next year, no allocation is made for the project. When you do not make any allocation, whatever you have invested, that goes into the drain and there is no productivity. So, your account does not reflect the productivity aspect of the whole system. With this type of account structure, which is not healthy, you cannot become a viable organization at any point of time. Sir, the profit is reflected here without charging the Provident Fund liability which they are showing as surplus. This surplus is just a doctored surplus. So, I urge upon the railway minister to present their accounts on a commercial pattern and try to change the entire accounting structure. A committee was appointed for capital restructuring and for the entire restructuring of the railways accounts. We do not know what has happened to it. We have been talking about it, and the Parliament was told several years ago that they were coming out with a restructuring proposal. But nothing has happened so far. The railway minister claims that she is going to achieve transparency and accountability, and that is her desire. I do not think that this desire will be fulfilled unless she takes some stringent steps to set right the entire railway account. She should present an account which is readable by any person who wants to study the balance sheet of the railways and offers his suggestions. Sir, coming to the other aspect, I would like to say that they are talking about utilization of the property of the railways to mobilize resources. We have been hearing about this utilization of the railway property for the last 6 years. It is not for the first time that the Honorable Minister has stated this in her budget speech. The earlier ministers had also committed on this. I would like to know as to what has happened to this proposal. Who has prepared the project? We have been talking about utilization of commercial property on the lines of those railways in the world which are utilizing their commercial properties. It is a fact that you can follow the same thing.